Truth Legalization Method. What is it about? I will very briefly share this philosophy with you because I provide a more detailed training of the method in separate courses for a price. This is an introductory video to give you a general idea of what it's all about. Watch this video to the end and you will discover whose fate you are living and what scenarios you are repeating. How did this method manifest itself in the first place? I have taken many courses, visited other masters as a client. At some point, I awakened to my abilities, and people would ask, Yulia, how do you read people like that? I spelled it out in the Witches course about the basic laws of the universe, but still continue to evolve, to learn. At some point, I realized that what people call being psychic is actually a technique. People started coming to me and saying, Yulia, we watched your shows and started doing it as well. We did it. It's great. It's cool. In May 2022, I recruited my first group when I started telling people about the method and called it the Truth Legalization Method. The first thing I taught people was the philosophy of the world order, the laws by which everything works. Then, through understanding formulas and laws, you can identify cause and effect. For example, a woman comes in with a request saying that it is difficult for her to manifest into this world. The method consists firstly of a diagnosis and secondly of phrases that the person repeats. I offer her a phrase to recite like, and it looks like I might not have been born, I'm giving it space. How it's connected. If mom wanted an abortion, then to the person. When mom was pregnant, she was the whole world to them. Physically, that is. While living in the belly, mom was the whole world to them. And mom had the power to kill, which means there were thoughts of abortion. Then when a person is born, the whole world becomes dangerous in the image of the mom. It then affects the manifestation. While saying these phrases, the woman starts crying and says that yes, indeed, since her childhood she was told stories about how she might not have been born. And it was all in jest, it was nothing serious. But in fact, the person then develops a program that they have no right to life. The philosophy of the method is that the whole world is a program, and all the events that happen to a person in life. It seems to us that it's all about us, that things that we do are just part of life. It's all programs, every single one, absolutely every single one. 1,000 programs in 1,000 phrases. But those programs are not in the layer of this reality, or in the layer of this life at all. I once had a conversation with my father about money. I decided to ask him, Dad, tell me, please, when I was in school, what kind of money situations did you live through? He starts describing to me how he borrowed money and left his motorcycle as collateral. I listened to him and realized that I've lived through the same events, only from the other side. The same feelings, the same worries. I think, wow, that's cool. I thought they were going through a different kind of life, but we were actually living the same thing. I just never asked. There is such a thing as genetic memory. Humans have too short of a lifetime to try every experience and figure out what is dangerous, what isn't, how to do things, how not to. It has even been scientifically explained, and they did some experiments. If, for example, a monkey touches a banana and gets an electric shock, its descendants stop taking bananas after 3 to 5 generations, even though they have never been electrocuted. It's exactly the same in humans. If your great-grandfather was beat up or killed for money, then you form a program that money equals death. It's dangerous, and you shouldn't deal with it. Then your unconscious and you start getting rid of money in order to survive. The solution at its core is that you enter the layer on which it was created, this program, which is beyond your current life. And in resolving phrases, say, I acknowledge and accept all those in the lineage and reincarnations who have been killed for money and give that a place. Words are the codes to the unconscious. A person can shape reality with words, among other things. If something you once thought or said came true, then give this video a like. 2 basic principles. The first is the layers, the current life level, the generic system level, the reincarnation level, the universal level, and the alien level. The second method philosophy is that everything in the world is in total balance. If some event occurs in a person's current life, that event is necessary to balance out, to bring everything to zero. These programs can be legalized through the method. I teach people to observe, to give importance to things that they used to miss. Thus, you can read information about a person from just about anything: their phrases, the way they are dressed, where they sit, how they move. From all of space, you can read this information and you can work through it. Another such concept in the method is that everything is completely just, that everything lies on multiple layers, that everything lies on all layers at once at the same time, and that all these scenarios repeat exactly as long as they are hidden. Once you manifest them and legalize them, why is the method called Truth Legalization? Scenarios tend to manifest exactly as long as they are hidden. Once manifested, that scenario breaks apart and you stop repeating it. I originally thought that the only people who would come to learn the method would be practicing therapists, psychologists, and esoteric practitioners in order to make their work with clients more profound. I was wrong, because in fact most people who come, they want to learn about how the world works, or they want to solve some kind of problem they have. It fits everyone who is interested in a non-standard system of worldview, non-standard philosophy, and everyone who wants to understand these interconnections and how each of you ended up exactly where you did. Usually when I tell about such a worldview, a person brings up a lot of their internal programs, and they want to ask their own question, to show their own program, or to argue with the fact like, it's completely different for me, I know it's not like that. You begin to unload your programs and your codes, and you live by those codes, and you materialize your reality by those codes. It's, like a movie. If you and I go to see the same movie, and at the end of the movie I will ask you what the movie was about, there will be as many versions of what the movie was about as people who will write about it. It's the same thing in life with the vision of some things. When I tell you something, and each of you has a different movie running through your head, even though everyone watched the same video, everyone saw something different. If you're interested in learning more about this philosophy, understanding how everything works, then come learn the method or come to my Telegram channel, where I break down some things and how they relate to each other.